So we just got done racing the 2022 Mint 400. We went back because the races kicked our ass 2 other times and we weren't going down without a fight. The prep for the race this year was pretty good. We have a pretty well put together team at this point. The car's, been, I'd say tried and true, but we've broken everything we need to break on it. We know what we need to prep, make things better, build it back better, faster, stronger, all that good stuff. And we got a really good prep this year.
I am Corey Ivorone, and I participated with Garrett in the Mint 400 for 2022. Preparations were smooth. We were good. There were some upgrades to the car, much needed. We did some good stuff while we were there, make sure we were dialed in. Everyone's nerves were nice and relaxed. We didn't have to install an engine, transmission. It was nice. It was much different than the previous year.
All right, the wind has died down. The sun has come out. We are here officially at the Mint 400. It is super windy. I think you might not be able to hear me right now, but it is cold here. We got some palm trees over there swaying in the breeze. Cops giving us some escort. We are ready. There's been no vehicle repairs necessary. We had to install a throttle cable. We checked oil, installed the headlights, and everything's looking good. We got a lot of stuff to do today. We'll get ready. I got a lot of footage coming your way for tech inspection, some nightlife stuff. Should be pretty exciting. I'm ready. I'm excited. Good vibes, good feeling, solid crew, ready to get this going. All right, great news. Tech inspection. Take a quick look at all the cool stuff moving around here. Everything's good. Helmets, fire suits, Hans device, everything is all set. We got some cool stuff that we get to now watch. We are good to go. Everything has been checked off the list. I think we just kind of want to do a rundown on the radios because that was a problem last year. Besides that, everything looks good, everything feels good, the car sounds good. So finger tight, fingers crossed that tomorrow goes well. We'll have to check back in. It's still really windy. Some people were doing some pre-running out in the desert, and they said the wind was helping move around the dust, which is beneficial to us, but at the same time, if it's cold, it's not going to be pretty. Your boy doesn't like the cold. So T's and P's to everyone here. Good luck. See you on the other side.
So registering, getting prepped, and your time in Vegas, honestly, you're pretty busy the whole time. You spend time prepping the car when you get there. You spend time pushing it through contingency row for tech inspection. You spend a lot of time waiting in line to get your registration packet, I guess, your racer packet. It's good. You get to see a lot of people. Everyone gets to check out the cars. You get to see other people's cars, what they're up to. It's one of the more fun parts of the your time before you get to race.
Personally, for this race, I have my little pre-race superstitions that I've picked up in the past, almost 15 years of racing. But for this race, I kind of just didn't really have a plan. We just were going out there, and whatever happened, and tried something fresh. And luckily for us, it worked out. Adrenaline's definitely pumping. It's kind of that thing that relaxes me. I was always the kid that, little kid playing football, I would be yawning doing calisthenics and get yelled at, but you were so excited to be there doing it. And racing was kind of always the same thing for me. It calms me down. It relaxes me. I definitely get jittery, a little bit on edge. Everyone will joke around, don't joke around with Garrett before the race because he's an asshole, but it's all in good love, and I don't mean it. It's just I get pent up and calm down as soon as the race starts. So
personally, no, I didn't approach it differently. The way I approached it this year was similar to last year in the sense where I just showed up just eager, wanting to learn more, wanting to participate and be a part of the entire week. Not just race day, but the whole package. It really is a whole package from the moment you land, seeing people you saw previously, seeing cars you saw previously, maybe some cars you saw that you didn't know if were going to make it online and stuff like that. You really kind of participate in the entire event outside of the actual race day. So ways I helped prepare Garrett were just kind of letting him know what we're there to do. In a way, we're there to race for sure, but we're not there to go for that first place finish. We're just there. We want to learn more. We want to be more familiar with the car. We want to learn more about how we can build a new car and just participate in it to the fullest extent possible, more than the 72 miles the year before.
Start of the race was much better than December. We took it nice and easy off the start. I had one of my buddies, Ryan, start next to us, and we joked about who was going to out-jump the other one off the start, but we both took it pretty easy.
Start of the race was smooth as butter. Much better than last year. Constantly reminding Garrett, hey, they seriously changed the first jump. It is all but just an immediate fall off of the ramp we went off the first year. Just reminding him, hey, we got to take it easy. We just got to get the ball moving, get some momentum moving forward, and just kind of get settled into the car.
Unfortunately, early on, we had some throttle cable issues, but I looked over and told Corey, said, we're not stopping in the infield again. We're getting out of here. No one can see us, at least broken down. So we made it out of there. Ryan pulled away from us, but we got that fixed up with a couple zip ties, and it was all good. And we were off on to the rest of the race.
Well, when we ran into trouble early on, it was trouble we were familiar with. The throttle cable was sticking a little bit. We had dealt with it last year. We had worked on it in the parking lot before the race, just kind of getting more familiar with the route the cable took. So we knew right where to look. We knew what to check for. We kind of had a good idea going into it, how we could fix it if it did pop up. It popped up early on, unfortunately, but we were prepared. It was just, take our time, fix it right, fix it once, and get moving.
So our first lap started off, we, raced through the infield, made it through there. We fixed our throttle cable. At that point, we were making a good pace. We had a small exhaust leak that kind of developed a little bit as we went on, but so the low end was a little bit dead on power, but we tractored on through. Corey kept telling me, I'd see a broken down car and he'd say, well, they're not moving. We got to keep moving. So focus on that. And that would keep me calm. We started to lose the, voltage before we got to the first pit. At that point, we're shutting down electric fuel pumps, unplugging the GoPros, anything else we didn't need. And that got us a little bit further. But finally, we died. At that point, that's when I thought the race was over.
Pretty familiar scene out here for us. Those guys are having lots of fun. We are at the 32-mile marker. We started losing voltage in the car maybe 10-ish miles ago. We shut some stuff off. Oil cooler, helmet pumpers, unplugged some of the GoPro equipment. It was better for a little while, it was, and then it kept going down and down. We lost, I think it went down to about 7.5, 8 volts, which it's not gonna work. Got out of the car, checked the car. Everything else looks good. We've got power, everything works as it should, but when we hit the start button, essentially it's, push the start, button, there's nothing. You get no clicking, we got no noise, no even registration that we're trying to start the car. If you're wondering why I'm alone, it's because I'm gonna flip the camera around and maybe you could possibly tell where I'm pointing to, but you'll see what looks to be maybe a parking lot. It's about 1.5 miles to 2 miles out from here. I'm gonna spin it around. Garrett is walking there right now to try and find a jump pack to see if we can get this car back on the road. Route mile marker 32. Our alternator died, so we are dead. Corey's back at the car. I am currently walking or attempting to jog my fat ass through the racetrack while staying off at the same time. The first remote pit is in 2 miles, so we're gonna go get a battery jump pack at least and see if we can get driving this car to the first pit. Right about like here is where that what essentially is our first pit stop. That's the worst part, is we were doing everything we could to get it to our first pit stop. We knew we'd be able to figure it out there. We had the bulk of our team at the first pit stop. And I can see where we gotta go. It sucks. So Garrett's hustling over there. This sucks. Like, look at this. This sucks. You've got almost 2 miles of just sand. Big berm there. I mean, fortunately, he can kind of walk as the crow flies, I guess, as they say, and maybe get there a bit quicker, because the course says it's about 1.5 miles, but you can see we kind of double back that way and then loop back in and come back around. So maybe walking would be a bit quicker, but we're just hoping to get a jump pack. We're hoping that maybe with a jump pack we can get the car started. You know, I'm dying to finish a lap here. I know Garrett, I mean, he's obviously got everything in the world invested into this right now, and he's dying to finish a lap as well. So it's a bummer. So we're doing our best. Oh, sorry, Josh. 2 of the GoPros are broken. Sorry. I'll figure it out.
So as for things breaking down that took us out for a little while this year, we have chrome pulleys on our alternator. Me being new to air-cooleds, Corey being new to air-cooleds. We knew there was a charging issue because all of our gauges were showing that nothing was charging. We kind of overlooked the fact that it was our belt slipping on the pulleys. So we finally, you know, got into the first pit with a little bit of a help of a tow. We had some guys come by from other groups and they kind of, you know, hopped in, see where we were going. The starter was a little funky, so we pulled that, tested that. That was all good. That way we isolated that it was just the belt that was wrong. We got everything bolted back in, threw a new belt on, scuffed up the pulley a little bit, and we were back out there racing. I mean, that was our small goal, was just to finish one lap. You know, after the past 2 years of racing and not finishing one, to finish one was great. But as soon as we got there, we knew we needed to get another one in, and that's what we did.
You know, one thing I was feeling at the completion of lap 1 was that Garrett and I were both on the same wavelength, but we weren't talking about it. You know, after we broke down at mile marker 30-ish or whatever it was, you know, we got up and going. And Garrett said to me, we just got to finish this lap. We just have to finish this lap. We just have to finish this lap. And we rolled into the main pit and we rolled over the start finish line after lap 1 and we just kept going. We didn't talk about it. We didn't say anything. We just knew the car was going to keep going. We were going to keep going. We still had more left in us.
As for class 11, we knew after I was stuck in the pits for a while, we were going to get lapped. So, when I saw those guys, a ways back, I made sure we got out of the way, let all our friends race. Same with everybody else too. We made a couple passes. We traded a little paint. There's probably a couple Jeeps out there that don't like us, but it was overall, it was good, clean, fun racing. We didn't have to worry about getting hit by anybody. Unfortunately, a couple of class 11s got hit and didn't finish the race. But overall, we had a very good, clean race.
The course this year, I would say, seemed to be a little bit faster than the course last year. But the course changed so much. You put up one lap, and then as you're going through and doing your second lap, that sharp left is now totally blown out and is now a really fast-paced, long left. And it changes so much after hundreds of cars, not even cars, trucks, and off-road vehicles, blow through it.
I think Corey and I were both pretty prepared for the course. Both mentally, I think physically we could both be in a little better shape, but that's for another day. Emotionally, maybe too. Corey does not like the rock quarry, but I was surprised at how much, the second or what would have been our third lap, how much faster the course gets. Similar to back race and ATVs, the courses get raced in. You get the fast race line really into the course. And at that point, it's kind of, with our low clearance, it's like being on a roller coaster. We're just driving around and keep it on top of the big bumps. Don't fall into the really big dips and keep the wheels moving forward.
The rock quarry, man. The rock quarry I'm so uncomfortable with. It's so harsh. There's no forgiveness there. You just bounce around for 20 to 25 minutes in the most uncomfortable manner. You can't even zoom in close enough on the map to see where you're going. It's just, I don't like it.
I think for me, mid-race, at nighttime, it's a lonely place out there. We're the only lights you see moving, unless you see stuff coming up behind you, which you kind of get a little pep in your step, get on it. When there is dust, it is kind of like that, red flag to a bull where you're like, all right, we're coming up on someone. So you got to keep it moving, do what you can to keep that pace up, keep yourself motivated and not just get lost and slow out there in the desert. Second lap was great. After we had our issue, we did pull into each pit we could, whereas we could have probably passed through the main pit. But at that point, we knew it was only a 2 out of 3 lap race for us because we would have houred out for our third lap. So we pulled in, we took some extra gas at the main pit. So that way we knew we wouldn't run into any other issues. It would be a pure mechanical issue. We wouldn't have to worry about fuel. Everything just kind of flew. It worked like it should have for a change. I wasn't really used to it, but it worked. Yeah, we didn't have communications with the main pits. We kind of did a little bit here and there, and then we didn't have much at all. We could hear them, they couldn't hear us, so that kind of sucked. As for trying to radio to the pits, let them know what's going on or what we need pulling into there. When the car was dead, luckily we were close enough that I don't think Corey's phone worked, but mine was somewhat working. So we made a couple of phone calls, text, anything to hope it would go through. Got in communication with, Mickett, Aaron, and EPOW at the first pit. My dad was at the main pit along with my girlfriend and a couple of her friends, and everybody had their jobs of what to do. And we stayed in communication that way. But after that, yeah, it sucked without radios. It's a humbling experience when you're in the middle of the desert and you are the only light you can see as far as you can see in every which direction you look. Racing, it's a very cool feeling. I'm glad we didn't break down because it would have been an extra lonely feeling, but hopefully we don't get to feel what that's like.
I felt pretty uncomfortable driving across the desert at night. About 20 miles into lap 2, dusk is beautiful out there, but it got dark really, really quick, and the GPS died. So almost our entire lap 2 was done with no communications, no GPS, just good old fashioned, keep your head on a swivel. It got real quiet inside the car. Really wasn't too much talking, just trying to keep our heads up and our eyes open for anything that was kind of coming our way.
I can't even describe crossing the finish line. We joked that when we did complete the first lap, the next goal was to make the fire go off. And that meant we sent our whole second lap through to the finish line. And we came up over that thing and the fire came off, and emotions, feelings, anything. I didn't feel anything. It was just pretty surreal for, all the effort that's taken us to get here. We didn't even finish all 3 laps, but hell, it didn't matter to us at that point. We finally did it. And it was, I guess, just the best feeling ever.
It felt fantastic crossing the finish line. Being able to see the fire go off as you go over the start-finish line, or what we thought was the start-finish line. Turns out the finish line wasn't until 500 feet ahead of us, and we almost didn't even go over it. But feeling that burst of joy and that adrenaline, the adrenaline pump of, knowing you have achieved what you set out to do, more than you even set out to do. It felt fantastic. Garrett and I congratulating each other. It was just, it was a good in-car moment that was shared between him and, myself, that was necessary after a long, long, long day.
Being on stage was great. I'm a very shy person, so to be up on stage, usually makes me stutter. I don't want to talk too much, but to finally get there, to thank everybody that's gotten me there, it was an awesome opportunity to finally do that. So I think my favorite moment is probably, I don't know, there's so many. It could be, getting the car back running again, looking at Corey, I'm sure he had the same feeling, but once we got it going, we're like, there's nothing that's going to stop us now. We're going to find a way to do it. Coming through the main pit and, everybody, all the other Class 11 racers, the racers themselves, their friends, their family hopping in to help us make sure we had everything we needed from nose to tail of the car. Everybody hops in and helps us. They don't care what part you need. They're just grabbing it and they'll figure it all out later. The camaraderie is unbelievable. And I think lastly, it's just got to be that feeling of coming over that last bump to see the flames go off and, look over at Corey and say, we finally fucking did it. We finished the race. We were a lap down, but we fucking finished finally.
My favorite moment of the trip, as cliche as it is going to be like finishing. That feeling of finishing, you roll into your line where you get to go up on stage and they interview you. Watching it happen the year before, not being a part of it was definitely a bummer, but being a part of it was truly special. That was, I think you'll see at some point, I hold my medal up to the camera and I just have a smile from ear to ear because it's such an exciting moment. I was so happy to be there. I didn't matter. I couldn't feel my feet. I was starving. I was thirsty. None of that mattered. I was just excited to finish.
So as for Team Stinkbug, we finally picked up a 1969 Bug that we're going to build into a Class 11 car. That will be IRS suspension on the swing axle we have been racing. If you're watching some of our in-race video stuff, you can see some of the other Class 11 cars come flying past us. And part of that is due to the different suspension that they're running. It's just so much smoother over the rough desert. Corners better. Overall, it's just a different car that we're going to build to fit into this class. As for the original Stinkbug, we're going to finally hit some car shows that I didn't kill the race or kill the car completely. Get out to different events as we can and just enjoy it for a change. Our new goal is obviously to finish all 3 laps to finish the Mint 400. But yeah, just faster, stronger, less breaking down, get it done faster, go for that podium spot now. We were 7th out of 14. In December, we were running in 4th place before we broke down. So we know when the car's running good, it's fast enough to compete up front. So now we want to go for a podium.
I want 3 laps out of the future. I want a full course, 3 laps. Would love to be on the podium. I want that kind of full experience. That's definitely the next goal that I have for us. I can't say Garrett's going to disagree with me there. So.
My closing thoughts for, the race, our whole experience this year is, it was extra special for me. I gotta take a second. The race this year is extra special for me. My girlfriend and I are expecting our first child, so in the springtime we'll be adding a new driver to the team. So it's gonna be awesome.
That's awesome. Congratulations.
Thank you.
A lot of people know that.
Yeah. Yeah, so after Easter we'll be telling everybody, but I'm having a kid.
And closing thoughts. Thank you.
I got nothing as good as Garrett.
Perfect. I think that's
Yeah. Right on.